wash a tear. Watch these things about your life. You vessel so familiar and strapped. Take this tide and these quarters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing at the wash a tear. Watch these things about your life. Your vessel so familiar and strapped. Take this tide and these quarters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing, baby. Don't know about you, but I'm tired stressing, looking for my blessing. And everything is a life lesson, like fuck, man. Lord, that's enough drought in the rain. A little bit of love had enough pain. Like shit going down the drain, but a real nigga gon' maintain. Lost four jobs in 1 year. We came home and say shed a tear. That's to be let go in your inner fields when a real man was born here. And the man started marching uphill. Lord put me up in time out. Pop the sun back in my mammy house. Rolling dice, trying to figure it out. Walking my truth, still on with no family in view. Change your vanish like poof. Now when they call, I answer the phone like who? Where was you? When I was addicted, lost everything to my name. Broke down on the shoulder, you was in the turn like breaking no ways. To make a new path was the last I will see. Have to last out. To wash your tears, watch these things about your life. Your vessel so familiar in the strap. Take this tide and these waters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive, don't stop stressing at the wash your tears. Watch these things about your life. Your vessel so familiar in the strap. Take this tide and these waters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing, baby. This son of God rose out of concrete. Furnace of affliction, fire at my feet. Refined not like silver, but a new creation. You know separation, test from wheat. Harvest coming, boy, you better sow your seed. I hope it ain't wayside, stony and choked up by weeds. There's a use for every 12, watch your company. Take the road that's traveling these corner streets, cause plausibly aristocracy's atrocities become commonly hard to see. Walking cornerly, got you stumbling drunk on a Dollar Tree. About to be soul robbery, looking for reciprocity. You reap what you sow, tread lightly. The live boy is here, jubilee. Lord bless and ain't lightly. Watch your tears, watch the stakes about your life. Your vessel so familiar in the strap. Take this tide and these waters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing at the wash your tears. Watch these things about your life. Your vessel so familiar in the strap. Take this tide and these waters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing at the wash your tears. Watch these things about your life. Your vessel so familiar in the strap. Take this tide and these waters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing at the wash your tears. Watch these things about your life. Your vessel so familiar in the strap. Take this tide and these waters, baby. Drop your lows, speaking in cold life, get heavy, baby. Learn to forgive and stop stressing, baby. Lord said, I will choose thee and find thee not like silver. In the furnace of affliction. Man is not determined when things are good, but when things are hard. So stand tall. That's all. Clap it up. You know what I'm saying? It's Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. You understand? It's Monday, the history breakdown class. You understand? Where we get into our records, you know what I'm saying, according to the historical records. You understand? Bringing them out line by line, precept upon precept. Here a little, there a little. 1 second, allow me to share the class. Allow me to share the class. All right. Okay. So, in light of what's coming up, this very, very, very pagan holiday, you understand, or unholy day, you understand, which is Thanksgiving, which is a very, very
evil celebration, but they like you to think it's about family coming together, you know what I'm saying, breaking bread, but it's really about massacre of the dead, you know what I'm saying? So today's class is breaking down the history of Thanksgiving. The article that I'm gonna be pulling, a lot of the excerpts from the article come from a book called "Democracy, Politics, and Terrorism: American Quest for Security in the Age of Insecurity." Okay, so what it's talking about is America trying to establish dominance in the age where they weren't dominant. So you had the 13 colonies, but they were surrounded by the French, the Spanish, um, Native Americans, people that were way more established than them. The British, when they were trying to establish their colonies, right? So the story of Thanksgiving goes, some settlers left England from the Plymouth settlement in England, came to North America, established a Plymouth Rock settlement, and the Wampanoag Native Americans and Squantos came to them with peace offerings, and they had a big feast, and we now have Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a great day. Welcome, friends. Come and feast with us. When that was the furthest thing from the truth. All right. So scripturally, we're gonna start with, if you could, Amos 5 and 21. When you got it, go ahead and read it. Let me go there with you.
And it's the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it. Let's see. I hate, I despise your feast days.
Well, let's see. Yeah, that's fine. You start there.
I hate, I despise your feast days.
Say that again.
I hate, I despise your feast days,
Mm-hmm.
and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
So the Lord says that He hates and despises your feast days. Anything that is not of the Lord, He hates and despises. You know what I'm saying? And He will not tolerate what you call a solemn assembly. Keep reading.
Come on.
So normally, throughout the Gregorian calendar year, right? Every, I call them unholy days, but they call them holidays. It's gathered around the feast. Mother's Day. You make a feast for your mama. You know what I'm saying? Easter and Good Friday, you make a feast for that. You know what I'm saying? Christmas, you make a feast for that. Thanksgiving, you make a feast for that. 4th of July, you make a feast for that. You understand? So the Lord is saying that He's not going to accept your meat offerings. You know what I'm saying? Because they're mingled with blood. They're wicked. You understand? These gatherings and these assemblies have nothing to do with the Lord. Right. Nor does the Lord get any praise from them whatsoever. That's right. And according to Ecclesiastes, the whole duty of man is to serve God and keep His commandments. Right. Nowhere in the commandments did He command us to keep these feast days. That's right. You understand? These are all man-made feast days. All right? Keep reading.
I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Take thou away from me the loud noise of thy songs.
So all that singing, gathering, you know what I'm saying, y'all making a joyful noise, it is not unto the Lord, and He's not listening. You understand? So let's get further into it. Give me boom, 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 boom. That's a good one. But I want yeah, go there. That's fine. And then after that, go to Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. You understand? Like Thanksgiving is probably the most evil holiday. I mean, all of them are evil, but this one is built around the mass murder of your people. Like it's wicked as hell. You understand? It's disgusting. Matter of fact, don't even worry about it. Just go to Second Thessalonians uh, 2 and 3. Yeah, and this is what we're going to do. This is what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge does. Go ahead.
It's the book of Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let no man deceive you by any means,
Mm-hmm.
for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
So first is going to come a falling away. You know what I'm saying? The falling away is from keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Keeping your feast day. That's why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they don't know about the Feast of Purim. They don't know about the Day of Atonement. They don't know about High Hanukkah. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about Passover. They don't know about the Feast of First Fruits. You know what I'm saying? You start talking to them, they could be like, man, what is that? But they didn't have a Bible in their house since they was at birth. You know what I'm saying? They don't know these things. So first there will be a falling away first. All right? Keep reading.
Come. And that man of sin,
And that man of what?
of sin,
Of what?
of sin,
Mm-hmm.
be revealed,
You
the
understand?
son of perdition.
You understand? The son of perdition. You understand? So what we're doing here, we're revealing the man of sin, because you would think that Thanksgiving is a great day, a day of all the nations coming together and sharing a potluck. You know what I'm saying? To represent two nations coming together, but that's not what happened. You understand? And we're uncovering the truth. That's what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge does. We make things that are hidden and mysterious practical. We remove the smoke and mirrors and the rose-colored lenses from off your eyes so you can see the truth. You understand? Go ahead, brother.
And Salakia, even more regarding Thanksgiving or most of the other holidays that come about in this Greco-Roman calendar year. It's to the celebration of them defeating their enemies. That's
Right.
what most nations set up holidays for, or
Right.
holy days. It's regarding the vanquishing of an opponent or enemy. Salakia, sir.
No, you good. Keep reading.
Come. It's the book of Second Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 4. Who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God.
It does what?
Opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God.
You understand? So his job is to expose and exalt himself above anything that is righteous and anything that is of God. So that's why you don't know about the feast days. That's why you don't know about not about the dietary laws. You understand? That's why you don't know basically what is clean and unclean. You know what I'm saying? What is righteous, what is wicked. You know what I'm saying? That you think it's cool to marry outside of your race. You understand? Because he has made these things that are wicked seem good. You understand? Keep reading.
Come. So that, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
You understand? Straight like that. All right. So now we're gonna get into the stuff that I sent you. Evidently, it sent it in reverse. I don't know why. But start with the last text message I sent you. One where it starts off where it says Captain Miles.
Come con.
Mm-hmm.
Cap. Yeah, they got them joints backwards.
Yeah, definitely
Alright.
send it backwards.
Hold up. It's like half the. You sure it didn't send to me regular? Cause
No, I didn't.
at
Cause
the,
I'm looking at it on my phone.
cause my last one says it doesn't have anything about Captain Miles on
Oh,
my
so it's
last
sent
one.
it on your in order. So the first one I sent to you says it starts with Captain Miles.
It says Thanksgiving at Plymouth Rock developed according to Chuck
No,
Larson,
I
a
want the
teacher.
one where it says Captain Miles Standish, the leader of the Pilgrims.
All right, hold on, cause that means these all out of order then.
Right.
Captain Miles, Salakia, sir.
No sweat. I got you.
Is there any number reference on that joint? So maybe I
Nah, there's no number reference. It's an article.
Because this
Hold
one
on,
says
I got you. Don't worry
contrary
about
to the fabrication lore of storyteller
it.
generation.
Just you got your airdrop on?
uh, Con, I don't think I ever shut it off.
All right, no sweat. 1 second. Gotta love technology.
Con, yeah,
Yeah, it's off. Turn your airdrop on.
that's why I hate technology. Because I don't know where to do
Here,
that.
give it a Come on. Quick.
That's kind of what kind, sir. I got it. Man, airdrop. I got it on for everyone.
All right.
So, I never cut it off.
Nah, it's not on. Give me your phone. Come on, make it quick. The water. Select. Send airdrop. There we go. There we go. All right. You should have it. All right, so we're going to start where it says, the one that says Captain Miles.
This
Should-
what I'm looking at right here.
Got it?
Okay, there we go.
All right, go ahead.
Captain Miles, the leader of the Pilgrims, invited Squanto, Somerset, Massasoit, leader of the Wampanoag, Wampanoags, and their immediate families to join them for a celebration. As the Thanksgiving feast began, the Pilgrims were overwhelmed at the large turnout of 90 relatives that Squanto and Somerset brought with them.
Now
The-
to give you a preface, it is the pilgrimage settlers when they came there, they were living in dirt huts because they didn't know how to survive in the climate. They didn't know how to hunt. The crops that they brought grew in like stony ground, so it wasn't able to grow in this soil. So the Wampanoags, the Native Americans, taught them how to cultivate corn, how to skin beaver, you know what I'm saying? Because, it gets cold up there in Massachusetts, and how to build a Native American home, which is not, they do have tents and teepees and stuff like that, but majority of the Native Americans had established lands, and homes and communities. You understand? They would have you think they were just nomadic people that just roamed everywhere. Now, you did have some tribes that were like that, but majority of them were established communities, that were way more vast than the communities that they had at that time in 13 colonies. Go ahead.
Man, look, they taught them the whole sense of government. the Native Americans had a society stemming from North America down to South America and had actual populaces in whole areas of
Right.
like communities. Like these people, like the builders, they got buildings and things that still stand from. They taught them how to build with wood. Like
Right.
it.
So
Good
the
night.
the art the agricultural or cottage style architecture that's known amongst the South came from the Native Americans. They taught them how to build. All right. All right. So keep reading.
Come. The pilgrims were not prepared to feed a gathering of people that large for 3 days. Seeing the Massasoit seeing this, the Massasoit gave orders to his men within the first hours of his arrival to go home and get more food.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, it happened that the Indians supplied the majority of the food.
Mm-hmm.
Contrary to the fabricated lore of storyteller generations, no pilgrims prayed at the meal. What's more, they consumed a great deal of home brew. In fact, each pilgrim drank at least a half gallon of beer a day, which they preferred even to water. This daily inebriation led their governor, William Bradford, to comment on his people's notorious sin, which included their drunkenness and uncleanliness
And here's the key part. Keep reading.
and rampant sodomy.
You understand? The white man is a homosexual. Okay? He likes to get drunk and he likes man's butt. You understand? He likes animal butt. As long as he can put in what, as long as he can bear whatever in whatever, he gonna do it.
You going to chocolate roll every
You understand? He is a disgusting, lewd, subtile beast of the field, man. You understand? And this is what, isn't that what America is about? You know what I'm saying? Getting drunk and promiscuity.
Right.
You understand? That's why all your shows, you understand, is about getting drunk, going to strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? Everything is sexually overt on television. I remember when I was younger, you understand, to see someone kiss, you understand, they cut the scene. Like now, like you seeing everything, you know, but the nether regions. You understand? Like the white man is just such a disgusting, vile person, beings, creatures upon the face of this earth. You understand? All right. So let me put up the next one on the screen for him. It's the one that starts with
The next paragraph that says later.
yeah, ladder is the pilgrims. Yeah.
Come.
Let me put it up on the screen for him.
So just if I could, sir, just
Go ahead.
asking you a question, because I know about Saturnalia
Mm-hmm.
and how, just homo
Matter of fact,
Saturnalia.
why you asking that? Pull Job 9:24. Go ahead.
Con. So pretty much, if it's not about the murdering or sacrificing of kids to some type of fertility type of god or something,
Mm-hmm.
it's homosexual. That's what they're.
I mean, but all of it has to do with murder and sacrificing of something, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, we're going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? Why it became Thanksgiving, why it was commemorated, what happened. Because, like, this is just the actual, we just bringing out the real story of what transpired on the quote-unquote day of Thanksgiving. But we're going to get into the historical records of what happened when Thanksgiving was made a national holiday.
And
know
then
what I'm
just
saying?
for the record,
Go
so
ahead.
everybody that's around eating, they getting drunk and just start busting it open just at the table.
Men, because you gotta understand, no women came over.
I just wanted that said for the airwaves to hear that.
So you have to understand when they came over here. You understand when the Pilgrims came over, it wasn't no women. You know what I'm saying? They were men to build a settlement and an original colony. You understand? So they either raped, captured, enslaved, and raped Native American women, or they had sex with men. That's what they did. They got drunk. You know what I'm saying? Because evidently you can't be in your right mind to sleep with a man. You got to be insane. You got to be 5150. You know what I'm saying? Salakia. You know what I'm saying? Give me Job 9 and 24.
Cut on cut.
And it's going to bring this point home. You know what I'm saying?
Book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
The earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
I can't make it more plain. You understand? The earth was given into the hand of the wicked to do disgusting and vile things. And this goes all the way back to Greco-Roman times. You understand? They turned the house of the Lord into a whorehouse. You know, they were doing all types of lewd sexual acts on the altar of the Lord. This is documented. You know what I'm saying?
If I could, that's when they get to when you read about like the oracles, they would go get the young virgin girls and be some old nasty looking.
The oracles were just whores.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they were. They were whores for the priests. Just like the nuns. The nuns are whores for the priests in Catholicism. You understand? All right, go ahead.
He covered. You want back to the story?
Was that in on it?
No, it was the rest of Job. He covered. Oh, come on. He covered the faces of the judges thereof.
You understand? And that's what he does now. You understand? He covers the face of what he did to the judges. You understand? The children of the Lord. You understand? The earth was given over to the hand of the wicked, and the real records were hidden, were covered. That's why you think Christmas is an amazing holiday. That's why you think Thanksgiving is an amazing holiday. That's why you think ignorantly to celebrate Juneteenth, because it was an amazing holiday. You think the 4th of July is an amazing holiday when they said that every man was created equal and declared their independence. You was picking cotton and getting whipped and buck broke and tarred and feathered and lynched and all types of atrocity, and your women being raped, all of that. You understand? None of this that has to do with this nation has to do with you. The sooner you accept that, understand that, the more better off you will be. All right, go ahead and read. Back to the story.
Con. You want the story now, sir?
Yep.
Con. Later, the pilgrims grew in number. They started showing intolerance to the Indians and their religion.
To the Indians and what?
And their religion.
And they what?
And their religion.
So in the previous class, when we brought out the histories of the Native Americans, we brought out what their religion was. It was keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
You understand? They wouldn't do the things that the settlers would do or allow them around their congregation, because they would not be able to do their priestly work. They wouldn't be able to do their work as men of the Lord. You understand? So right here, you seen it, that they grew intolerant, not only towards the Native American nations, but their religion as well.
Right.
You understand? Because in order for you to know that you're dirty, you have to see something that's what? Clean. You understand? And the Native Americans were pure at heart. They left from known civilization to come to a land where no man had known, so they can keep the customs of their forefathers. Right. So they can be a righteous and holy people unto the Lord. You understand? Go ahead, keep reading.
Gun. The relationship deteriorated.
Mm-hmm.
Any Indian who came within the vicinity of a pilgrim settlement was subject to robbery, enslavement, or even murder.
You understand? What scripture is that? Give me
I got that Habakkuk one. The Habakkuk joint.
what's that?
I was looking for the woe to him that builds a city on bloodshed.
Hold
Builds
that.
a town with blood.
Matter of fact, yeah, pull that. I got one more to go with that.
It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot here. Verse, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city with iniquity.
You understand? So the pilgrims that established the Plymouth Rock settlement in Massachusetts, you understand, established, as it says right here, their colony, you understand, with intolerance for the Native Americans' religion, robbery, enslavement, and murder. Read what you just read again.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity.
You know what I'm saying? Give me Genesis 27 and 40. You know, we brought this out last class. What Esau's blessing was. You understand? Go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 40.
Hold on. That's not it.
You live by the sword?
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's that right there, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 40. And by thy sword
There we go.
shalt thou live,
Mm-hmm.
and shalt serve thy brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Now, pay very close attention to this scripture, right? What's the first part?
That thou, Shalakia, and by thy sword shalt thou live,
Mm-hmm.
and shalt serve thy brother.
Now watch this. So, the settlers that came over to the United States, they were going at war with the British government, living by the sword, because they didn't want to pay taxes, right? So they came over. Go ahead. So they came over to the new land, so they wouldn't have to pay taxes, and they could establish their own settlement, right? So the next part was that you're going to serve your brother. So when they got here, they didn't know how to live, right? So that they had to learn from the Native Americans, and the Native Americans had to teach them agriculture, how to farm, what to farm. You understand? Had to teach them how to clothe themselves in that climate. You understand? So while they're teaching them, they have to serve the Native Americans in order to learn their ways, learn how to survive in this harsh climate. Because in Massachusetts, I don't know if you've been, up north during the winter, it's brutal winters. You understand? Like, they wear beaver skin, you know what I'm saying, in the winter. It's fur, you know what I'm saying? So, so they lived by the sword, you know what I'm saying? Then they ended up serving their brother. Then it goes on to say, and it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have dominion, so when they learn the ways of the Native Americans and learn how to survive in this land, now they have dominion and they can make the earth their subject. It says that thou shalt break the yoke from off thy neck. So you don't. So you gonna escape the servitude that you gonna have under your brother. Now you gonna be the ruler. You understand? You're gonna have dominion, and you can go back to living by the sword. That's why it says in this article that it says that when they started showing intolerance for the Indians and their religion, the relationship deteriorated. Any Indian who came within the vicinity of the Pilgrim settlement was subject to robbery, enslavement, and murder. The Pilgrims further advertised their evil intentions when they mounted 5 cannons on a hill around their settlement, constructed a platform for artillery, and then organized their soldiers into 4 companies, all in preparation for the military destruction of the Native Americans. You understand? So the Native Americans have taught them how to survive in this land. Now they're breaking their yoke, the treaty that they made with them, the bond that they made with them. so that they can rule over them. How they're going to rule over them? By living by the sword. You understand? So give me, to further prove that point, give me, boom, 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 boom. Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Let me go there with you. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make straight which he hath made crooked? You understand? Whatever the spirit that the Lord has placed upon something, you can't change that spirit. You understand? You can't change the fact that an elephant is an herbivore, that he eats grass, right? You can't change the fact that a wolf is a hunter and he's a meat eater. Whatever spirit that the Lord has made, you can't change it. You understand? And the white man has the spirit of Cain. All right? So let's find out what that spirit is. That's Genesis chapter 4, verse 10. All right, so let's find out what the spirit of Cain is. And he said, what hast thou done? Well, let me add back some. Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now thou art cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall henceforth yield unto you. It's like it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. That is literally what's happened. The white man came over here. Did he not know how to survive here? The crops that he brought over here died. The Native Americans literally had to do the work for them and show them how to raise crops. You understand? Same thing when the transatlantic slave trade happened. You understand? They brought people over here to work for him because the earth would not yield forth its strength to the white man. You understand? Because he is a vagabond, a fugitive upon the face of the earth. Everywhere he goes, he conquers a people by the sword and then takes on their culture and steals their identity. That's why he's the last samurai, the last of the Mohicans, the gods of Egypt. You understand? He's the so-called Jew now. You understand? He's everything but the vagabond sodomite that he is. Right. You understand? All right. So let's get back to it. Get back to the story. All right. So let's go to the next page where it says Pilgrim's Mile Standards. Let me pull that up on the screen for him. All right, go ahead.
It's like it. Pilgrim Mile Standish.
Matter of fact, hold on. Let me pull the one where it has the full paragraph on there. One second, y'all. All right, go ahead.
Pilgrim Mile Standish went to the Indians, pretended to be a trader.
He pretended to be a what?
To be a trader.
Because he knew the Native Americans' customs. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau is a crafty, cunning hunter. Right? Like that's why, like, who thinks to come up with a perfume, a cologne that smells like deer piss, so that they won't spook the deer when they're hunting them, right? Who thinks to come up with a whistle that quacks like a duck so the ducks won't be spooked when they hear movement in the water. You understand? Like, he's a crafting, cunning hunter. All right? So he came with gift in hand, pretending to be a trader, because one thing he knows about the Native Americans, they all about trade. I mean, hell, black people, you know what I'm saying? We all about trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if I do this for you, what you gonna do for me? You know what I'm saying? This is who we are. You know what I'm saying? We are business-minded people. You know what I'm saying? We do for others, but we also want others to do for us as we do unto them. You understand? Keep reading.
Come. And then beheaded an Indian man named Witawamet.
Mm-hmm.
He brought the head to Plymouth, where it was displayed on a wooden spike for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Standish had the Indian's man's young brother hanged from the rafters for good measure.
So not only did when he came, it was two men that he came to, right? Pretending to be a trader. He decapitated one, put his head on a spike at the entrance to the gates, you understand, as a warning to Native Americans, and then he hung the younger brother for good measure. It's evil, man. It's despicable. You understand? And all of this is to be celebrated, and is why you celebrate Thanksgiving, and we're going to find out. Keep reading.
From that time on, the whites were known to the Indians.
Hold on, let me scroll up so they can be with you as you're reading. All right, go ahead.
From that time on, the whites were known to the Indians of Massachusetts by the name Wotoquinage, from which in their tongue meant cutthroats and stabbers.
You understand? Lets you know that they were backstabbers. They came up with a name for these people, these red pale-faced people. You understand? Known as Wotoquinage. You understand? These are people of cutthroats and stabbers. You understand? Go ahead.
It's like that spot just north of here that's kind of, I want to say it's west of Conroe or east of Conroe, called Cut and Shoot. Ain't nothing but white people there. It's called Cut and Shoot.
That's what they do. Hold on, get a sense of the mic.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, see, look, this is about to bring out the hidden mysteries.
I was going to Lamar, and I was driving to school, and my car got stuck on the freeway, and the tow truck, they called AAA for me. The tow truck took me to the nearest mechanic shop. It was in Cut and Shoot. They refused me service, wouldn't tell me why or nothing. They was like, I don't have to tell you nothing. You better go somewhere. And the tow truck man felt so bad, he told me all the way back to Houston free of charge. Because he was supposed to leave me out there. And them people was like, we ain't going to help you. You just going to be stuck. I didn't know nothing about nothing. It's like my second year of college.
So cut and shoot is just like Vider. You know what I'm saying? In Texas. Hold it just in case you got something you want to say. So, like, you know, if you ask anybody in Houston, Beaumont, or to Port out the area, like places you shouldn't go that's like sundown towns, Vider is one of those. And Cut and Shoot is one of those as well. You understand? All right. Keep reading. Keep reading.
A monument in Weymouth, rededicated in 1923 to commemorate the 300th anniversary of settlement, still bears testimony to the encounter between the natives and the white settlers under Miles Standish that killed Indian chief Pexout and Watawamet in March 1623.
So they erected a statue of the beheading of a chief and the hanging of his brother. You understand? This is how evil they are. Okay? Let me see. Let me get Let me get Jeremiah 13:23. Let me go there with you.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
You understand? I mean, does that make sense to you, sis? You understand? Like, a leopard can't change his spots. You understand? Nor can a spirit of a people who are inclined to do evil that you expect them to do good.
Right.
Which goes straight in the hand of what we're dealing with today. Like, you're asking for justice from a people it's like you're asking for justice from a people, from the judge who is of the people, from the people that's killing you.
Right.
You understand? And when you go there, they gonna dismiss it, and then when your son come up for trial, they gonna throw the shoe at him and put him in jail for his natural life.
Right.
Now, these people are evil, man. You can't expect justice from a wicked sodomite nation.
Right.
You understand? It doesn't equate. Go ahead.
And Salaki, if I may, it's crazy that people went and voted their hearts out.
Bruh.
They voted their hearts out for two people that during one of the most notorious decades that ever happened for blacks, not just on the killing scale, but as far as the locking up or the taking of the head of the household from blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Kamala Harris in the 90s dealt out more years than a goddamn I don't even know.
And what's crazy is black people is cool because she an AKA.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because she pledged a Greek letter sorority.
But she wasn't over there with the sisters. Whatever.
She would.
And then Biden, since 74, has been on every his name. If he wasn't the one to draft it, he signed for it. Every major crime bill since 74. That includes the RICO Act, man.
Oh yeah. That done locked up all our soldiers. You understand? So all right. So go to the next slide. The one that starts with 1630.
1630, come. And one incident in 1637.
No, where it says by the mid 1630s at the top.
By the mid 1630s.
It should say by the mid 1630s at the top of that one. So first paragraph should be by the mid 1630s. Second paragraph should say in one incident in 1637.
By the mid 1630s, a new group of 700 even
Read what it says.
A new group of 700 even holier Europeans calling themselves Puritans.
So now understand, when the Pilgrims came, they're supposed to be Christians, right? The Pilgrims were quote unquote Christians, right?
Right.
Okay. So when they came, they pretended to be friends to the Native Americans, had a feast with them, said, we're going to throw y'all a feast, but then the Native Americans ended up bringing the food for the feast. You understand? Then after the feast was over, they grew intolerant of the Native Americans' religion, you understand, and started enslaving, robbing, and murdering them, cutting their head off, you understand, and hanging them, lynching them. Don't that sound like what they do to niggas? That's how you know that they're your people. And what's crazy is most blacks, Hispanics, you have Native Americans in your family. My great-grandmother's full-blooded Choctaw. The vote is out on her husband, my great-grandfather. You understand? Because we still trying to find his death records. You understand? But they lived on Cherokee land. I'm sorry, on Choctaw land in Alabama. My family didn't move from that land for 3 generations. You understand? And the only and you know the story that was told there. The only reason why they took on English names because during the Trail of Tears, most of them refused to move. So that they said they were black or Negro and gave themselves an English last name so they wouldn't have to move and be moved off the land that their families have been on as long as they can remember. You understand? Keep reading. So now you got the next wave. So this is the second wave. So you had a couple of pilgrims that came the first time. You understand? I'm sorry, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You had a couple of pilgrims that came the first time. Now the second wave, they bringing 700 of them with them. You know what I'm saying? They might have had like 50, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But now they bringing a wave of 700 more zealous and holier than them. You understand?
Sound like that demon scripture. That
You feel me?
Come, sir. Calling themselves Puritans.
You know what I'm saying? So the first wave was the pilgrims. The second wave, the more zealot ones, are the Puritans. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna purify this land. You understand? Basically, that means we're gonna kill everything moving, and we're gonna claim in the name of our Lord. Keep reading.
Had arrived
on how many ships?
11 ships, and settled in Boston, which only served to accelerate.
Hold on, to diminish.
To accelerate.
Because if you're holier, no, stop the violence. Did they stop it? What did they do?
Which only served to accelerate.
Here, take this mic, Ock. Y'all swap mics. You know what I'm saying? You might have a question, something else you want to say. We're going to leave you with a mic. You know what I'm saying? So they accelerated
the brutality against the Indians.
You know what I'm saying? So they were more thievery. There was more thievery. You know what I'm saying? They were more zealous in thievery and robbing. They were more zealous in capture and enslavement and rape. They were more zealous in sodomy. Good night. You understand? They were more zealous in murder. You understand? The Puritans. They were quote unquote holier. So that just means they were even greater in wickedness than the Pilgrims. You understand? Keep reading.
Con. One incident in 1637, a force of whites trapped and killed some 700 Pequot Indians, mostly women and children and the elderly, who had gathered for their annual green corn festival near the mouth of the Mystic River.
Here it come. Keep reading.
The next day, the governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving.
Declared a what?
A day of Thanksgiving.
So the day of Thanksgiving is about mass murder of women, children, and the elderly. That is what Thanksgiving is about. They are thankful for the hunt of your ancestors. It ain't about breaking bread. It is about the mass murder of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, your people, the children of Israel, your women, your children, your elderly. Coincidentally, today, it's about the murder of your women, your children, and your elderly. You understand? Nothing has changed. All they do is hunt you because they are a crafty hunter. You understand? Keep reading.
Con. Because 700 unarmed...
Start at the beginning where it says the next day.
The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving
because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered.
You understand? Thanksgiving is because 700 unarmed men and women were murdered. That's Sandra Bland. That's Tamir Rice. That's Alton Sterling. That's George Floyd. That's Philando Castile. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go on. Like, they get off on murdering unarmed blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They've been doing it. That's how they established this country. That's what Thanksgiving is about. It's about killing George Floyd. You understand? It's about what's the sister name that was killed in the apartment? Breonna Taylor. It's about killing Breonna Taylor. You understand? They celebrate. That's what Thanksgiving is about. It's about celebrating killing your people. Each Thanksgiving is a celebration about all the niggas, spicks, and savages that were murdered throughout that year. Thank the Lord we killed this many. You understand? Google the amount of murders of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Whatever that number is, that's what you're celebrating on Thanksgiving. The murder of men, women, and children of your people. That's what Thanksgiving is about. It's disgusting. You understand? Keep reading.
Con. This event marked the first actual Thanksgiving.
So this is what the actual Thanksgiving is about. They tell you it's about when Squanto came with his brother and his family to break bread with the pilgrims that came. It's not about that. But even in that story is not all the way true. You understand? Squanto and his family, they had to feed themselves and them Edomites. And then after the feast was over, they grew intolerant of their religion and began to rob, enslave, and murder them. And then the first official Thanksgiving is about the mass murder, the genocide of basically a whole tribe on their feast day, their holy day. They wiped out a whole tribe of women, children, and men, you understand, on a holy day. Don't that sound like what the Greeks did? Yeah. You understand? Don't that sound like what the Romans did? Nothing has changed. It's time for you to wake up and take off the rose-colored lenses off your eyes and take responsibility for what you're doing. Go ahead.
And if I could, sir, this kind of explains, in part, the spike of arrests and police brutality around holidays.
Right.
That we go and get drunk or whatever and enjoy ourselves, and then immediately afterwards, you see red and blue lights scattered across the city.
Exactly.
You hear all the gunfire and the murder everywhere.
Because you want to know why? Because the hunt is on. So we've tricked you to go out and get intoxicated because what's the law they said? Don't drink and drive. You understand? But they know when you go out and celebrate the 4th of July, what you gonna do? Drink and then drive. When you celebrate New Year's, what you gonna do? Drink and then drive. You understand? And all they want you to do is make one move. Oh, he was resisting arrest. He was reaching for something. I was in fear for my life. You understand? He's a crafty, cunning hunter. He sets the framework for you to break the law. We talk about the law, statutes, and commandments. Sets the framework for his law. It's lawful to him. And then puts you in jail or murders you for what he's allowing you to do. And 9 times out of 10, at every event that you go to, like if it's a fireworks festival for the 4th of July, there are cops out there. They're watching you drink. The amount you drink, you're about to get in your car and drive. They get on the road and report it. They setting up road stops. You understand? Sting operations. You understand? Speed traps. Like, There are worse things going. Like my dad just told me today, for the next 2 weeks in Houston, they got sting operations set up to check to make sure that your registration and your insurance is valid. They're doing that for the next 2 weeks to meet their quota. It's not about you doing the right thing or the wrong thing. It's about sustaining salaries. They're crafty hunters. They don't give a damn about you at all. They don't give a damn about your safety. You understand? They don't give a damn about you. Like prime example, me and a brother, we were going to Port Arthur to do the work of the Lord. You understand? A cop pulled me over because he thought that I didn't have any insurance, right? Because he pulled me over. He said, let me see your license and your insurance. I show him my license and my insurance. He's like, well, did you have insurance for it? Because it was a day that my insurance, what you call it, when you renew your insurance. Yeah, well, it didn't lapse. So the last day that of my insurance policy, I always renew. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So in I guess, you know, when they pull up behind, they run your license. It shows if your insurance is valid or not. So it was the day after, I guess, my last policy, and they hadn't updated the system yet. So he pulled me over, and I showed him my policy. It was for today. He was like, well, did you have insurance before today? I was like, yes, sir, I did. He's like, well, I'll be back. So he pulled me over because he thought I didn't have any insurance. So when he came back, he had to make up a reason to write me a citation. So he said, after the stop sign, when you rolled past me, you were going 45 and 35. I was like, well, sir, I was on cruise control. I had a witness in the car. He was like, well, just pay the citation. You don't even have to come back to Port Arthur to go to court. You understand? That's how wicked this nation is. I pull you over because I thought I had you on this. You actually have this. Let me make up something so you can go to court. So you can fulfill our salaries. So we can get court costs out of you. And even if your ticket get dismissed, guess what you got to pay? Court costs. So either way, they're going to hit you coming and going. Period. Ain't no winning. You ain't getting away unscathed. Court costs and lawyer fees, you always going to have to pay it. You understand? It's their system. All right? So let me pull up the next one, Salakia. 10 years. All right, let me go to the next one. Let me pull it up on the screen for them so they can read along with you, Uriah.
Come.
All right, go ahead. Where it says in just 10 years.
Come. In just 10 years, 1,200 whites.
12,000.
Or Salakia, 12,000 whites had invaded New England.
Mm-hmm.
And their numbers grew. Salakia, and as their numbers grew.
It's Salakia. So, notice that. They invaded New England. So, they left Old England and established a New England. There's New Orleans because Louisiana, parts of Texas, was owned by the French. They left the old France. There's an Orleans in France. Established New Orleans, right? There's a Mexico. There's a New Mexico. The Spanish and the conquistadors, they ran and conquered South America. You understand? So in the battle for the new land, you have the conquistadors, which were the Spanish and the Portuguese, who conquered South and Central America, right? They established Mexico. They established New Mexico, in California, all of the parts. They had Texas, all right, and then you had the French that had a portion of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi. France had that, and then you had the British and the British and the English that owned the 13 colonies all the way up to Maine, which we had the colonial wars where they established the United States. Right? Go ahead.
I just want to pull up the definition of invade so nobody takes this lightly.
Go ahead.
Invade is a verb. Of an armed force or its commander. Enter a country or region so as to subjugate or
To what?
to subjugate or occupy it. To enter a place, situation, sphere of activity in large numbers, especially with intrusive effect. Of a parasite.
Of a what?
A parasite.
What is the job of a parasite? Do you know, sis? What is it? To what? There you go. The job of a parasite is to kill the host. You understand? They leech on to a mass body and suck the life out of it till it dies. And then it goes on to another host. That's what the white man is. He's a parasite in the world. Go ahead.
In just 10 years, 12,000 whites had invaded New England. And as their numbers grew, they pressed for all-out extermination of the Indian.
For all out what?
Extermination of the Indian.
You ever seen a Native American before in Flesh and Blood? You, like exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really see Native Americans. You see them on TV. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really see Native Americans because they've pretty much exterminated. Now, when we say exterminate, we're not just talking about the physical people. They've erased their culture, right? All the communities and cities that they've had, they've bulldozed and erected their towns on top of it. You understand? Like, they did the same thing with the children of Israel, right? And with the quote-unquote nation of Edom, right? Of all the nations that are in the Bible, because like Moab, like they know that they're Moab. They have a seasoning, a Chinese seasoning that's called Moab. They know who they are, right? The Arabs know that they're descendants from Ishmael. They know this. It's in the Quran, Islam, their religion. You understand? They know this. You understand? The Russians know, well, at least some of them, you know what I'm saying? Some of the tribes in Russia know that they're of Japhetic nation. Because everybody on the face of the earth are categorized by three. You're either Semitic, which is Shemitic, Hamitic, you understand, or Japhetic. Those are the classifications of everybody on the face of the earth today. You know what I'm saying? But of those people, you don't know who Edom is. That name is a race. You don't know who Israel is. Their culture is a race. You understand? Just like you don't see Native Americans, their culture is a race because they've adopted their culture. That's why when you see Native Americans, you Google Native Americans, they all look white. Because they, you know what I'm saying? Because they covered the face of the judges. You understand? And they created crafty counsel so that the name of Israel will never rise again. You understand? Keep reading.
Come. Euro diseases had reduced the population of the Massachusetts nation from over 24,000 to less than 750.
So when that second wave, the Puritans came, you understand? They brought the sword and disease. You understand? It went from a thriving nation of 24,000 Native Americans just in Boston, Massachusetts alone to 750. Like, put that in your mental faculty. You know what I'm saying? Like, quantify that.
That's like going from seeing at least 10 a day to damn.
Two.
What was that? Who
Yeah.
was that? What? Did you see him?
Barely, yeah, barely. You know what I'm saying? That's like you seeing a dodo bird today. What was that? You understand? Keep reading.
Come. Meanwhile, the number of European settlers in Massachusetts rose to more than 20,000.
So what happened? So they came, when they came, the second wave came, it was 700 of them. The tribes were at 24,000. The tribes went from 24,000 to 750, and the Puritans went from 700 to 20,000. See what I'm saying? Like, this is all by design. But you want to celebrate Thanksgiving, though. Keep reading.
So the number of European settlers in Massachusetts rose to more than 20,000 by 1646.
So let me do the math real quick. So 1646 minus 1637. So in 9 years, less than a decade, the Native Americans went from 24,000 to 700 in Boston, Massachusetts, and the Puritans went from 700 to 20,000 in 9 years. In 9 years. That's genocide. That's what Thanksgiving is about. Genocide. Keep reading.
By 1675, the Massachusetts Englishmen were in a full-scale war with the Indian chief of the Wampanoags, and Metacomet, renamed King Philip by the white man. Metacomet watched the steady erosion of lifestyle and culture of his people as European imposed laws and values engulfed them.
You understand? Didn't I just say that? I literally just said that.
Good night.
The white man is a vagabond and a culture bandit. Wherever he goes, that culture erodes and the lawlessness escalates. Everywhere he goes, people get away from their culture. It's like, oh, they're cool. Let's party with them. And little did you know, they setting you up to die. You understand? Go ahead, brother.
And Salaki, there's a precept on that. It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself to be at all to be a Jew.
Good night, brother.
Like, that's 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Because right here, he's saying that he watched them erode the lifestyle and culture because they imposed laws and their imposed laws and values engulfed them. They made it unlawful for them to, and that's where assimilation come in. That's the part that I be trying to get people to understand. Like, when you begin to take on their culture and you get them haircuts and all that, they're making you for now. They don't have to force you to assimilate. They don't have to come kill your big brother for you to go get a haircut.
Right.
They got it to where now you can't get no job without no haircut.
Right.
Or without a shaven beard. They force you into assimilation, and that's what they were doing to the Native Americans. That's what it's called. You thinking assimilation is something that's nice or something that you should do to be amongst the crowd. The term assimilation, when you learn about it, or when I learned about it, was in like the 9th grade, maybe the 8th grade. It was nothing nice that they went and they killed.
Bro, so do you remember the show Star Trek?
Con.
Next Generation?
Con.
You know what I'm saying? With the dude that played Professor X in X-Men?
Con.
Do you remember the Borg?
Talking about the funny looking dude with the forehead?
No, the Borg were a humanoid robotic race that lived in a flying cube that
like assimilate
or die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was literally their moniker. Assimilate or die. You know what I'm saying? That's like, And what's crazy is there was only one black race in all of Star Trek. Those are the Klingons. You know what I'm saying? They had huge wavy afros. You know what I'm saying? They were swole as hell, super athletic, warrior, and their religion was about honor. Who that sound like?
The Israelites.
An Israelite. You understand? And the Borgs are the Puritans. You know what I'm saying? They going throughout the galaxy finding humanoid-like races, and you're going to assimilate to our culture or you're going to die. That's why you celebrate 4th of July. Because your great-great-grandmother got tired of seeing her daddy and her mama and her brother and her cousins getting killed. So when your great-great-grandmother was born or your great-great-grandfather was born, it was like, you going to step off of the sidewalk when a white man walk down the street. You going to bow your head when they talking to you. You're not going to look them in the eye. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get your hair cut. You understand? You're going to say, yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? And yes, sir. You understand? So you can live another day. Instead of doing what we call a righteous death and dying for what you believe in. Dying for who you are. Dying for your culture. You understand? Keep reading, brother.
When Captain Benjamin Church.
Just go to the next slide so you can. I got it up on the screen already.
Oh, we don't need that one with the Captain Benjamin Church.
Yeah, it should be on the next slide. It should be the first paragraph on the next slide.
When Captain Benjamin Church tracked down and murdered Metacomet in 1676, his body was quartered in parts, were left for the wolves. The great Indian chief's hands were cut off and sent to Boston, and his head went to Plymouth, where it was set upon a pole on the real first day of Salakia, a public thanksgiving for the beginning of revenge upon the enemy.
Whoa. Read that again. Right from where it says where it was set up on the pole.
Where it was set upon a pole on the first day.
No, on the real.
On the real first day of public thanksgiving.
Of what Thanksgiving?
Day of public thanksgiving. For the beginning of revenge upon the enemy. So
Thanksgiving, you understand, is about the revenge on your enemies. The enemies are your people. And it was commemorated the first real public where everybody gathering and having turkey and all of this, pumpkin pie and all of this or whatever. All of that comes from the mass murder of the chief Metacomet, you understand, in 1676, where they severed and carved up his body. You understand? Sent his hands, you understand, which represented his strength, to Boston. You understand? His head they sent to Plymouth Rock, and it left the rest of his body to be eaten by wolves. And this commemorated the first public Thanksgiving. You understand? This is what Thanksgiving is about. Thanksgiving is about the revenge of the enemies of the white man. That's what Thanksgiving is about. It's disgusting. Keep reading.
As the Native American Holocaust.
As the Native American what?
Holocaust.
What?
As the Native American Holocaust.
Going from 24,000 to 700.
As the Native American Holocaust.
And the Puritans go from 700 to 20,000.
The Native American Holocaust.
Keep reading.
Continued. Several official Thanksgiving days were proclaimed. Governor Joseph Dudley declared in 1704 a general Thanksgiving.
not in celebration of the brotherhood of man.
So it wasn't about us being brothers and breaking bread. Keep reading.
But for God's infinite goodness to extend his favors in defeating and disappointing the expeditions of the enemy, Indians, against us, and the good success given us against them by delivering so many of them into our hands.
Good night, brother. Yeah, but God did. You want to know why? You understand? No, because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. We brought this out in the history of the Native Americans class. So in the history of the Native Americans class, we brought out in their records that originally when they first came, that they wouldn't eat any pork, right? So what the white man did, because he's such a crafty hunter, he does what he did today. He mingled the pork with venison, with deer meat. Or he mingled the pork with beef.
Salaki, it's just bringing in the real time for you. Buy sausage, sis? Do you check what type of casings that your sausage is in? Now you have to, right? But beforehand, they would give you beef sausage with pork casings.
Yeah, and I did it before, but when I joined the troops and I started taking my
Right.
serious, I started.
So if one person breaks the law, statutes, and commandments, you're able to take the whole people. Israel fell not because of everyone or multiple people, but because of one man, the king, Solomon. You understand? And in that same class, the history of the Native Americans class, if you were found eating pork, that they would separate you from the tribe to where you couldn't come in for a whole year until the next day of atonement, which is atonement for your sins. So you would have to be separated from your people for a year. So who knows, while you're separated from your people for a year, what you gonna do? You probably gonna hang out with the same people that got you separated from your people, and you adopting their culture. You understand? So when the day of atonement comes and you forgiving your sin, you're able to come back into the tribe. Like, you know what? Them pilgrims, they not so bad. They looked out for me the whole year while I wasn't here. They was feeding me. They let me chill with them. They taught me their language. They looked after me. You know what I'm saying? They not so bad. You know what I'm saying? So you tell your people that, now your whole people messed off.
Oh, that's Tom them. They cool.
You know what I'm saying? Now we in slavery. When we were the ruling class and they were serving us because they didn't know how to survive in our nation. But then when they figured out how they can have dominion over the land and survive on their own, they broke the yoke of iron from around their neck. That is literally prophecy. Keep reading.
Just 2 years later, one could reap a 50 reward in Massachusetts for the scalp of an Indian.
Hold on, let me pull that. Let me put that on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So they can follow along.
Oh, they make it seem like this us. This nation.
All right, hold on. All right, go ahead. Start over again.
Just 2 years later.
So this is 2 years after 1704. So we in 1706.
Con.
All right, go ahead.
Just 2 years later, one could reap a 50 reward.
And you know, $50 back then is a lot of money. $50 in 1704 is a fortune. It's a lot of money. Okay. So it's probably like $1,000. You know what I'm saying? You getting $1,000 for, keep reading.
Okay, so
Hold on, let me Google that real quick.
just to see how much it is.
How much is $50 worth in 1704? Let's see. $50. So $50 in the 1700s is worth $3,175.46 today.
Damn, that's a ticket.
So for one scalp of a Native American, you would get in today's value $3,175.46.
Put change on it. I see where they get the
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's where the wanted posters came from. You know what I'm saying? They got a script on your head. Keep reading.
Just 2 years later, one could reap a 50 reward in Massachusetts for the scalp of an Indian, demonstrating that the practice of scalping was a European tradition.
Right.
Okay.
So the scalping is a European tradition, not a Native American tradition. You understand? Keep reading.
According to one scholar, hunting redskins, a popular sport in New England, especially since the prisoners were worth good money.
The Washington Redskins. That's why they had to change the mascot. Because Redskins, it ain't talking about the skin. It's talking about the scalp of the Native Americans. Because they were scalping Native Americans. They would have you believe the Native Americans, if the Native Americans were scalping white people, it was because they were scalping them. You know what I'm saying? Because we believed in eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You understand? And that's how you know the Native Americans were the children of Israel. Because we brought that out in the history of Native American class as well. You understand? If you broke someone's arm, they break your arm. It's only just. Let me get back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how. I mean, we did that back when we was kids. You know what I'm saying?
Get my lick back.
Let me get my lick back. You know what I'm saying? He hit you, hit him back. That's that because we have the spirit of the Lord. The white man is a coward.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
The Hidden History of Massachusetts, a guide for black folks. Dr. Tingba, something Hamitish, but okay.
That's where that quote came from.
Okay. So like,
All right.
at the end of the conflict, so like at the end.
Let me pull up the next slide so I can keep reading with you. All right, go ahead.
At the end of that conflict, most of the New England Indians were either exterminated or made refugees among the French in Canada.
And coincidentally, the New England football team is called what? The Patriots. You want to know why? Because they committed mass genocide on the Native Americans. Coincidentally, they was like the #1 football team for like how long? Was it by design? Who knows? Who knows?
And the crazy part,
And
the quarterback and the coach,
yeah,
the villains of the league.
Teachers. You know what I'm saying? They had to make new rules because of the level of how they was cheating. You understand? The spirit of the Puritans and the Pilgrims. Robbers. You understand? You feel me? It's the spirit of the white man. Keep reading.
Con. Or Salakia, at the end of that conflict, most of the New England Indians were either exterminated or made refugees among the French in Canada, or they were sold into slavery.
So they had to either flee north into Canada or flee south into Louisiana, Texas, or Alabama, or Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Where the French had control over at that time. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told you that the United States at that time was carved up, was the powers that was in the United States were the Native Americans and their tribes, the conquistadors, which were the Spaniards and the Portuguese, the French, the English, and then the settlers who founded the 13 colonies, which will become what is known as America today.
Because you still had what? Spain at this time, since it's still the 1700s, you had Spain and Florida and Georgia.
Spain controlled from Texas to California.
Well, they still had Florida at this time, but they were still fighting with the French over Florida.
That's true.
Because it's still in the 1700s. They didn't. The English and the French didn't team together against them, along with the Native American. Well, the Spaniards still had the Native Americans on their side. But that's why the heat kind of got hot on them boys and
you know what I'm saying?
Side with the losing party. So.
Come on, man. All right, keep reading.
Damn, bro, this is hard to read.
Yeah. Facts.
So successful was these early trade in Indian slaves that several Puritan ship owners in Boston began the practice.
I don't want you to glean past that part. It says so successful was these early trade in Indian slaves. Okay? Since 1704. All right? So, the transatlantic slave trade started in 1619. All right? So, majority of this like they brought some of us over here, but majority of like the mass slave labor, because how you gonna know how to work the crops in America if you don't enslave the people in America? How you gonna learn how to work the crops in the Caribbean islands if you don't enslave the people in the Caribbean islands? How are you gonna learn to work the crops in South and Central America if you don't enslave the people in South and Central America? That's why they call them Hispanics, because you don't know them by their real names. That's why you're black, because you don't know your real name. That's why they call them Indians, savages, and Native Americans, because they don't know their real name. You understand? We were all enslaved. So for you to say that the Native Americans are not your brother, you a damn fool. For you to say that the Hispanics are not your brother, you a damn fool. For you to say that the people in the Caribbean islands are not your brothers and your sisters, you a damn fool. You understand? We are all one people, one nation. We the real one people, one nation under God. You understand? We the real people, not them. Like he brought out in the beginning of the class, we had a governmental infrastructure from South America, Central America, Caribbean islands to North America. You understand? That's why the Native Americans had an open door policy. Whenever someone came to visit, they opened them with open arms and broke bread with them, because that was their people, just from another tribe. So when the tribe would come and they would broker their treaties or they would trade, when they would come on their land, they would open them with open arms, have a feast, break bread with them, because that was customary. That's why we're so big as a people on hospitality. That's why when your family come in from out of town, you got to do what? You got to roll out the red carpet, right?
Yeah, treat them with the
That's our tradition. You understand? He's like, man, mi casa and su casa. My house is your house. Because we're family. You feel me?
We got to figure that out.
No sweat.
Figure it out.
You know what I'm saying?
Figure it out.
All right, go ahead. Keep reading.
Good night, bro. That so successful was these early trades.
It's about to get deep. Keep reading.
In Indian slaves that several Puritan ship owners in Boston began the practice of raiding the Ivory Coast of Africa for black slaves to sell to proprietary colonies of the South, thus founding the American-based slave trade.
Didn't I just say that? I literally just said that. I literally just said that. They brought the rest of our people over here. You understand? Because they had all of us over here. Enslaved. You understand? Keep reading.
The killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre.
So they wasn't just doing it once a year. They wasn't just having Thanksgiving once a year. Every time they would go out and have a massacre of Native Americans, they would have a day of Thanksgiving. It got so bad. This is what had to happen. Read.
George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside instead of celebrating each and every massacre.
You understand? They was killing niggas so much that the president of the United States had to stop them and say, look, y'all, okay, y'all partying too much. Y'all killing too much. All right? We only gonna have one day of Thanksgiving to celebrate massacres. Because they was killing Native Americans by the hundreds every month. And they would have a big feast, a day of Thanksgiving, because they murdered your people. They were murdering so much, they said, okay, we just gonna have one day a year to celebrate all the massacres that we did for the year. Keep reading. Go ahead. What you got?
And good night. This is before Andrew Jackson with the Manifestation of Destiny.
Right.
So this is them killing only on the East Coast.
Right.
They ain't even went to the Midwest.
Or the West Coast.
Or the dirty South.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, straight up.
Dog, go on, bro.
This is how evil Thanksgiving is. Thanksgiving is about mass murder. It's about a massacre. It's about the massacre of Native Americans. And I guarantee you, every black person and Hispanic has Native American in their family. Every single one of them. Like, that would be me going to go dig up the bones of my great-great-grandmother and pissing on them. Utterly disrespectful.
Come on, sir.
Keep reading.
Later, Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the Sioux, the starving Sioux, in Minnesota. Damn.
You understand? So George Washington decreed that they could only celebrate Thanksgiving once a year for all of the massacres they did on Native Americans. They was killing Native Americans so much. They hit like, hey man, y'all partying too much. You know what I'm saying? We can only party like this once a year, y'all. And then Abraham Lincoln made it a national holiday that once a year, because everybody would do it once a year at different times throughout the colonies. Abraham Lincoln made it to where it was the last Thursday in November to make it a national holiday when he was going to war with the Sioux Nation after he starved them out. Go ahead.
That's like this how you know that we the same people and they the same people, because that reminds of the siege of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
How they hit the walls for all that time, starved us out, and then we had to run because we were sitting inside Jerusalem starving.
Damn right.
Like, dog, this is.
Oh yeah, it's heavy. Hold on, it ain't over. Let me go to the next
Come
one.
on. Just let me know when you got it up.
No sweat. All right, go ahead.
So how and why this contemporary mix of myth and history about the first Thanksgiving at Plymouth developed? According to Chuck Larson, a teacher and Native American, it developed in the
Hold on, but watch
18.
it. It said his name was Chuck Larson. He's a teacher and a Native American, but his last name is Larson. You know what I'm saying? So, like I told you, Native Americans adopted the last names of Americans. You understand? So they didn't have to move off of their land. You understand? Keep reading.
It developed in 1890s and early 1900s. Our country was desperately, damn, he said our country, was desperately trying to pull together its many diverse peoples into a common national identity.
So, okay, keep reading.
This was the era of the melting pot theory of social progress.
Pause. So, at this point, in the 1890s, 1900s, all right? So, this is when you got the Irish, this is when you got the French, you got Russians, you got Italians. What were the other nations that was there with the gangs in New York?
Well, among the you got the Irish, you got the Italian, you got some of the Jewish population.
Right, some of the Jewish population. You had the Chinese here.
Chinese for the railroad.
Right, you had the Japanese here as well. You understand? So you had all of these nations.
Oh yeah, and the East Indians.
Yeah, and the East Indies. So as an effort, and what's crazy is all of these nations that are here are British colonies. Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just lets you know that this is New England. You know what I'm saying? So dubbed the area of Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? So in an effort to bring everyone together, where the quote unquote term and idea and ideology of the melting pot, America being a nation of a melting pot country. Keep reading.
Con. And public education was a major tool for social unity.
Say it again.
Public education was a major tool for social unity.
You understand? So we gonna forget about the elders. You know what I'm saying? The old people. If we're going to make this a melting pot nation, we have to invest in the kids. Teach them this fairy tale, this myth about Squanto coming to the pilgrims, saying, welcome to America. Let us teach you the ways and break bread and become brothers. You understand? And since then till now, is that not the story of Thanksgiving? Keep reading.
Con. It was with this in mind that the federal government declared the last Thursday in November as the legal holiday of Thanksgiving in 1898.
Mm-hmm.
Salaki.
No sweat. And then it says, today, the town of Plymouth Rock has a Thanksgiving ceremony. Let me scroll up so you guys can read along. I apologize.
Salaki, I don't want.
No, you good. Go ahead. Next paragraph.
Today, the town of Plymouth Rock has a Thanksgiving ceremony each year in remembrance of the first Thanksgiving. There are still Wampanoag people living in Massachusetts.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that so disrespectful?
In their face.
You understand? They have a reenactment of the first Thanksgiving. Let me bring up the first Thanksgiving on the screen, just in case you didn't see it at the beginning of the class. Let me bring up the reenactment of the first Thanksgiving. You understand?
They do a play on it?
Yeah. Let me bring it up on the screen for him. Hold on. Salaki. My bad, y'all. Boom. Yeah, let me bring it up on the screen for him. Show y'all what they reenact every year in Plymouth Rock. You understand? That's what they reenact every year. You understand? That's what they reenact every year. You understand? And the actual people in this picture that they're murdering still live in Plymouth Rock. Yeah, go ahead.
In 1970, they asked one of them to speak at the ceremony to mark the 350th anniversary of the Pilgrim's arrival. Frank B. James, the president,
Right.
president of the Federated Eastern Indian League, prepared a speech, but he was not allowed to deliver it. The Massachusetts officials told him to write another.
You know what I'm saying? So no, yeah, I stopped it right there. So when he got up there to speak, he was about to tell the truth. You understand? But when they proofread his speech, they told him that he couldn't deliver that speech, that he would have to write another one. You understand? So know this. You understand that the Thanksgiving holiday that they're about to celebrate next week is next week? Yeah, it's next week. Something like that. 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks? Yeah, it's the 26th. You understand? So that they're about to celebrate, it's about the mass murder, the genocide of Native Americans. It has nothing to do with breaking bread whatsoever. It's about evil, genocide, robbery, sodomy, and debauchery. That's what it's about. Go ahead, brother.
And if I could, just bear with me, Adawan. So when you talk to black folks and they say, you know, well, I celebrate Thanksgiving for everything that God gave me and bluesy blase blue, and you know, I'm blessed and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Really, what you're accepting and what you're saying what you're saying you thankful for is stolen property. You saying you thankful that somebody else died in order for you to be a slave, or your ancestors to be a slave, and then for you to be able to live in this place high out your mind every day and barely pay your bills.
Right.
You have to be the most ignorant and submissive beast on the face of the earth. And it doesn't serve us well to be beguiled in this what they call Thanksgiving, or in American society, because you know a lot of us believe that it was actually, you know, they go to church. Like I talk to somebody, you know, they go to church, you know, around this day, and when they go to church on that Sunday, you know, well, what are you thankful for? And you don't know that you're really saying you thankful that somebody else died for you to still live a slave and for them to remain oppressed under the same beast. It's just crazy.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And I posed like a little question online about this, and black people was like, "Are we just celebrating because we want to come together with our family?" You know what I'm saying? But you got Native Americans in your family. It's about the massacre of the people that's in your family.
Basically, it's still adopted all of the same traditions, just like you said. He invited the Native Americans, told them, go get your kinfolk, bring them.
Right.
You be saying, oh, I'm only doing it because, no, you doing exactly what you do.
Exactly.
You bringing all your family together for y'all to sin or get drunk or whatever and leave from your house and eventually end up in some kind of trouble.
Get that sister hand. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Never understood Thanksgiving, even when we was in school. I think this is probably the only subject I didn't understand. I couldn't understand pilgrims, Puritans, the difference between. I never understood that part.
First wave and second wave of genocide.
Of devils.
You know what I'm saying? All right. And we got to close it out with that. I'm going to say, Amaju, which means to stand. Hey. Sar, which means to turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malak with Ka. Taba'ah. Ratazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawa.
Hayah, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Basalaknawa, Kabawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawakinawa, Wala'ah, Tabi'ainawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wahala, Wahata Para, La'awalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sir, turn and face the front. Courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel. Mighty Shabbat. Abaji. Rock. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah. Yazamatah. Sir, turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel. Mighty Shabbat. Baji. Rock. Yahweh Shema Atah Ba'ashem Yahushua. Yazamatah. Dismiss.